A warm welcome. What can we expect in the month of March? We are entering the season of the eclipses, and everything starts with the lunar eclipse at the end of March, which will be visible almost everywhere in the world. It is a very important month where it will be decided which path each of us will continue on. And the grand finale will be with the solar eclipse in April, and more about what we have to expect in a moment. But first, I welcome you on my YouTube channel, and if you would like to receive a weekly energy update to know what is important for you in the upcoming week, then feel free to subscribe to my newsletter. The link you can find below this video in the info box. And also, if you are more interested in Vedic astrology, you can order a Vedic horoscope in our online shop. The link is also below this video. Before we look why this particular lunar eclipse at the end of the month is so important, let's start what we have to expect for the month of March. The month already starts hot, so to speak, with Saturn and Sun in a tight conjunction. This is also called combustion in Vedic astrology. It means that Saturn becomes invisible under the light of the Sun, and thereby the qualities of Saturn are weakened. Many may think this is good, because Saturn is often associated with difficulties and obstructions. But Saturn is actually the energy that stands for responsibility and helps us to do things, to accomplish what should be done. And with these energies we can easily become very frustrated and lose our desire, our motivation. It might feel like throwing everything away, that it all makes no sense. And by the way, these energies are active until around the 14th of March, until the Sun moves in the sign of Aquarius. And I'm speaking of Vedic astrology, a completely different system than the Western astrology. And this combustion between Saturn and Sun is a very important thing, especially in the sign of Aquarius, which only occurs around 30 years. And it has often been a trigger for difficult events. For example, in the year 1965, the political activist Malcolm X was shot during a public appearance. And this year, 2024, we had the sudden death of Alexei Navalny. Although I know that there are very different opinions about him, and it is not my intention here to comment politically, but Saturn and Sun in such a tight conjunction in the sign of Aquarius, it is about the topic of freedom and independence, standing up for one's own rights, and also about social reforms, changes for humanity and society, for the good of all. But with Saturn, it often brings problems. Another very important thing at the beginning of March, on March the 4th, is that the lower lunar node Ketu is changing its lunar mansion. It is currently in the sign of Virgo. The lunar nodes are in a zodiac sign for about 18 months. And their position is always very important for the consciousness of humanity. And Ketu changes the lunar mansion from the previous Chitra, a Mars lunar mansion, to the lunar mansion Hasta. And this is a lunar mansion of the moon. And with Ketu in the sign of Virgo, it is about looking at old patterns and habits and changing them, literally breaking the old chains of dependencies, of routine. Virgo is associated with the earth itself and growing food, and the protests of the farmers worldwide expresses exactly this, where a system that no longer really works well due to all the legal regulations and laws strives for renewal. Because we need our farmers, and they should really be able to do their work and more independent from restrictions and regulations that do not really be helpful for humanity. And also that they should be able to farm profitably. And these protests we experience worldwide are an expression of those energies of Ketu in Virgo. And Ketu is now moving in the next lunar mansion in the sign of Virgo, in Hasta. And Hasta is connected with the moon. It will bring up memories in us of maybe past lives that we have experienced here on earth. Because the moon brings this light, this awareness into these deep connections we have, and also to our star families, and brings them nearer to the earth. And often these energetic changes take effect shortly before the change happens in the sky, which will be taken in place on March the 4th. And Ketu will be in the lunar mansion Hasta until November the 10th. So this activates these topics even more than just in the month of March. It will also bring new information to light regarding the vaccination and the virus. There are few very interesting connections that need to be looked at more closely. And with these energies, some things can no longer be hidden. With Rahu, the upper lunar node, in the opposite sign, in the sign of Pisces, we can also expect that many false pieces of information are spread on the net. Many theories that are not true. And now it's even more important not to simply believe something because others do, but to look whether it really aligns with you and your life experience. And if necessary, to do your own research. A very important issue in these times. And by the way, Ketu is also connected to our beloved pets, especially cats and dogs. And with the moon, it is about giving them special attention, that they need maybe more care. Or you might consider adopting an animal. And I can only support this from my own experience for me. There is no greater gift than being there for animals and giving them a loving home. We receive so much love back. For me, a very beautiful and important experience that I would not want to miss. On March the 7th, Venus enters the sign of Aquarius, which could put a focus on social events, on networking, connecting with other people or groups. We look for commonalities and like-minded individuals with whom we can exchange our ideas. But here too it is about carefully checking if I am in the right circle, if I still feel comfortable there. On March the 10th, a new moon occurs in the sign of Aquarius. Sun and moon meet at 26 degrees, like the last 5 new moons, which all took place at this degree, and which connected the last solar eclipse with the current upcoming solar eclipse. The new moon occurs in the lunar mansion Purva Bhadrapada, along with Saturn and Venus in the same house. Purva Bhadrapada is a lunar mansion where it is said it represents a person with 2 faces, and we can easily be deceived, and it is associated with stubbornness and radical changes. And at the same time as the new moon, Mars aspects planet Uranus, which can indicate sudden and unexpected actions or attacks. Not good energies in relation to all the current crisis hotspots on Earth. It shows a lack of diplomacy and stubbornness. And also check it in your personal life. It is important to see which life topics will become apparent to you with this new moon. And for this, take a look on your Vedic horoscope and see what the sign of Aquarius represents as a house, to understand how this will impact your life. And if you do not have a Vedic birth horoscope, you can order it in our online shop. The link is below this video in the info box. And also with Mars aspecting Uranus, the risk of earthquakes remains high at this time, because those eclipses are very high energy points. And we also have currently a multitude of earthquakes around the world, but this can also trigger a bigger earthquake. The Sun moves into the sign of Pisces on March the 14th, which brings more awareness to your soul and your soul purpose, your intuition. It connects you more and deeper with your intuition. And especially when on the 17th the Sun is in conjunction with Neptune, and the energies build up for the upcoming solar eclipse in April with the Sun in the sign of Pisces. This is really a gateway to a higher consciousness that opens. However, we can also lose interest in worldly matters and maybe seeking escapes, especially in the form of drugs. The issue of drugs is an important one, as I mentioned also last year with Neptune in the sign of Pisces. It will also lead to more drug-related death, as some souls choose the path to end the earthly existence. Another important matter before I address the energies of the lunar eclipse, which will occur on March the 25th. Rahu and Mercury will be exactly at 22 degrees in the sign of Pisces on March the 19th, and on the same day the Sun will be in conjunction with a very uncomfortable fixed star called Sheet at 5 degrees in the sign of Pisces, and this could lead to extreme weather events, especially related to storms and water. On the other hand, it also means that many lies could be served us. It might be really important to pay attention to what is being pushed through the media field. And of course, in your personal life, it is about not falling into illusions by standing firm with both feet on the ground. It is very important not to let yourself to be too much emotionally triggered by what's happening externally. Then we come to the lunar eclipse on March the 25th. It occurs in the sign of Virgo, with the moon at 10.55 degrees in the lunar mansion of Hasta. And this means the focus is on the theme of health and illness. More can come out into our awareness, where it is, like I told you, about the vaccinations and the virus. It is not an easy energy, and also the global farmer protests will increase with these energies. Mercury at 29 degrees in the sign of Pisces at the time of the full moon, because a lunar eclipse is a full moon. Mercury is in Gandanta and transitioning from the sign of Pisces into the sign of Aries. And Gandanta is a very special energy zone where we can have the feeling of losing control. And this means it can bring confusion, not knowing what is right or wrong. And important at this time not to make decisions too quickly. It is a time when one should be particularly careful about believing what is presented through the media. But it also can bring technological advances and breakthroughs that can help humanity overcome incurable diseases, because Mercury is at this lunar eclipse between the end of the zodiac in the sign of Pisces and at the starting point of 0 degrees in the sign of Aries. And there is a lot of discussion currently about introducing a remedy for cancer to the market. We will see how things develop. And I know there are a lot of really helpful remedies that also need more attention from the pharmacy, that they can help us really good. On the world stage, we see in the horoscope of Palestine that the full moon activates the 8th house. This is the sign of Pisces in opposition to this full moon. And the 8th house stands for great transformation. And with Mars being there in the sign of Pisces at 8 degrees, coming into conjunction with the Sun, which is in the transit at 10 degrees, it is not an easy time for the Palestinians. And this may lead to further destructions of the land. And I hope with all my heart that the people there can leave the crisis area safely, and that there is a way for us to heal and to communicate and to connect in a peaceful way, despite different religious views and the old wounds. I wish it with all my heart. For Israel, I see the upcoming solar eclipse as being especially significant, but more information on this topic with the April update. In the horoscope of America, the moon is at 7 degrees in the sign of Aquarius, and in the horoscope of President Joe Biden, His south node, Ketu, is at 6 degrees. Now at the time of the lunar eclipse, which is always a special energetic moment, Mars is exactly at 7 degrees, activating the moon in the USA's horoscope and also the Ketu in Joe Biden's horoscope. And his Ketu is in the 4th house, and the 4th house is associated with our heart. And this can be a very challenging time for him. This lunar eclipse aims to bring us more into our power, to become aware of what it means to be human, to have such a great capacity to develop compassion and to heal with the help of our heart. Hasta is connected with our heart chakra and the heart chakra of the earth. An eclipse is the energy of a gateway, an opening, and the conclusion of our old life and the beginning of a new era, a new life. Our intuition is especially clear and alert during this eclipse in the lunar mansion of Hasta, providing us insights into this new self that we can all create, that you can be, how it can look, if you are ready to fill it with life by beginning to live it. It is an important shift that we are going through in March and April. And this eclipse is the start of something big, and more so by understanding. It is about how you decide more than before how your future will develop. And you can now set a new course into a future that reflects your inner growth and strength and your love. So thank you so much for listening, and please share this video with your friends and family, and I love you.